everyone. Welcome to another It's Live show. We are just 5 minutes late, which is pretty good for me, so I'm going to take it. It'll be fine. We're starting live. We're here. And nothing's gone wrong so far today at all getting this ready. So let's keep that rolling. Let me know in the comments, can you see me? Can you hear me? Are we ready to get started in earnest? Somebody let me know, please. Maybe even Andrea can let me know, because Andrea is going to be in the comments helping out, helping to queue up some comments for me. I'm going to go see if I've got a notification saying that things are good. Please be good things. I don't know. I'm seeing some hellos. I'm seeing some I need this and some yas and some yays. Okay, I think we're okay. Good, wonderful. All right, we'll figure out. That's going to be the mission for the next It's Live show. Is going to be a more efficient way of knowing that everything's good, all right, without having to prompt you every time. But I really appreciate your help with that. Thank you so much. All right, are we ready to start this thing in real earnest? Sure we are. First of all, I just want to mention the live show, the It's Live show, is meant to be a bi-weekly show so that there's some regularity to it and so that you can anticipate that it's going to be coming and then join us for it. Well, I am pleased to say that for the month of April, it has been a bi-weekly show. I think this is maybe the first time for a full month we've hit the live show dates when they were meant to be hit. So congratulations to us, everybody. It'll probably go off the rails after this, but who knows? Maybe we'll keep this train going, maybe. But the idea is every second Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern Time. So thank you for joining. The next episode, I'm just checking my notes here, will be May 13th. And during this live show, this It's Live show, we usually do some fun things. We'll play a game, we'll have some banter, I'll answer some questions. And if you'd like to ask a question, you can do it following this format in the comments. Just write first, question in all caps, and then write your question. This helps us pull the questions out of the chat so people can keep talking and bantering with each other, but we can still also find the questions in there so I can try to answer them. So I won't be getting to your questions right away, but don't worry, we're going to be keeping track of them, and we'll try to get through as many of them as we can a little bit later in the episode. But first of all, I do want to show you, for example, one of the questions that we received earlier. So if you're not already on the Watch It Played Board Game Geek Guild, you can subscribe over there. You'll find links to it in the description below, and I will announce when an It's Live show is coming, and then also allow people there to pre-ask some questions that they might like to have answered during the live show. And I have one here. We'll just bring it up. This one's from Rainer. And the question is, what is the next milestone goal for the future of Watch It Played? What a big, ambitious question. What is the next milestone goal? Well, it's a good question. I think there's sort of two ways I look at it. One of them is sort of channel-specific focused goals. So I would say one of the things that I would like to do is have more diversification of content on the channel, more types of videos. I've always over the years done a variety of different types of content, tutorial, gameplays, product previews, convention coverage even from time to time, product previews, gaming accessory previews. Sometimes we've looked at inserts, unboxings of gifts we've gotten from viewers. Of late, it's been a little more focused, narrowly focused on the tutorial videos and these live shows. We also do live shows too, I guess, right? But I'd like to be able to do more diversification again of the types of videos you find here on the channel. The challenge, of course, is that Watch It Played is me, sort of, and that is good and bad. The good of it, hopefully, is that you don't mind tuning in and seeing me here. The bad of it is I am a sort of a single point of failure to the whole operation. In other words, if I get sick or if I'm not able to be around, then there's no show. The channel sort of is over. So the other thing I need to probably do is diversify the contributors who are involved in Watch It Played. So I think those are the milestone goals, the next things to be thinking about for the channel. Now, kind of fun goals, a lot of times people attribute those things to like numbers of subscribers and stuff like that. I don't generally talk about how many subscribers we have on the channel. I don't really celebrate the different milestones we reach that way. I mean, we hit our 100,000 subscriber count a couple of years ago, and that was YouTube sends you like a big plaque and that sort of thing. And I never really made a to-do about that. I've got it somewhere. I think it's in the back room there, buried under some some games. But I mean, it's very nice accolade, of course. But I don't typically think about that too much. But if I was to, I would say kind of the next couple big numbers. It would be neat to see one of the videos that we've created here on the channel hit 1 million views. That'd be kind of a big deal. And I think we have a couple of videos that are getting close. So maybe when that happens, I'll mention it on a live show or something. I think and then, you know, a big fun number would be 1 million subscribers, which seems impossible, but who knows? Who knows? I guess the thing about all of that is, ultimately, this may sound weird, I don't really need more and more and more subscribers, as long as the subscribers that we have really care about what we're creating here and want to be a part of it. Like some of you, you're here during the live show and you're interacting with each other and also with me here in the live show. That, I think, is more important to the lifeblood of a channel than necessarily a large subscriber base. Certainly the large subscriber base can be valuable to publishers and other people who might want to partner with you, which honestly is also important as well, because that can bring in the financial funds that allow the whole sort of operation to work. But I think overall I would rather have a smaller group of people who are really dedicated to what we're doing than a whole bunch of people who don't really care. Does that make sense? I hope that makes some kind of sense. All right, so that's one of the questions we got. And I have a few other questions that I've preloaded from the BGG Guild over our Watch It Play BGG Guild. So if you want to subscribe over there, you certainly can. What do I have next here on the list? Oh, I want to talk about our fantastic sponsor of the live show, Board Game Arena. I have a little banner here for them. There they are, Board Game Arena. I just want to take a few seconds to talk to you a little bit about them and share a couple of interesting pieces of news about them with you as well. Just give me a second here. I'm going to cue that up. Let's go over to Board Game Arena right now. Hopefully you're seeing me still and you're seeing Board Game Arena as well. So this is a website where you can go and you can actually play board games online. You can add friends there, and then you can play. What's nice about it is not only can you play games, but you can play them asynchronously. In other words, I can take my turn, my opponent can take their turn when they want to. Or you can set the games on a timer so that they have to take their turn within a certain period of time if you want the games to go a little bit faster, but you have that flexibility. I really like that. Because sometimes I'll get a game going and I don't have time to just sit there and play, but I have time to take a turn every now and then. So I have a game up here on screen, which is one of the newest ones they've added to their catalog. This is La Granja, which I believe is it's a Stronghold game here in North America. So that's a new addition to the website. I think if I click on here, we might actually be able to see, you can see a setup of the game here in action. I think this is, I don't know if it's a demo or if it's just sort of, I think it's a demo setup, so you can kind of see what it would look like if 3 people were playing. I actually have a game that I'm playing right now. Let's see if I can switch over to that. This is one I'm playing right now. It's called Tournée, which I've never played before. This is my second time playing. The first time, though, this is a game I'm playing with Joel Eddy from Drive Through Games. He'd said, hey, do you want to try this game? And I said, sure. I'd never played it before. I was able to read the rules. They have the rules attached here. You can see it says on this tab, how to play. You can bring up the rules. They have a little breakdown here to give you some guidance as well. But what's really nice is that in this game, typically you have to refer to another sheet to know what the cards do because they're just icons. But if you hover over one of the cards, it actually breaks it down here. You can see it on screen. It breaks down what the symbols mean, which is really handy. For a first-time player, that was essential. This game has been very opaque to me. When I was first playing, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. We ended up in a tie game, and it was, by the end, pretty thrilling. So we're in the middle of one right now, and I need to perform an action. So I'm going to draw, let's see. I'm going to draw some cards. So I'm going to use my little worker over here. I'm going to click on this deck, and I'm going to draw the next 2 cards from it and pick which one I want to keep. And, all right, I am going to, ooh, I like that one. This is a very mean card, it looks like, the Ballista. So I'm going to take that card and put it in my hand, and I'll play it later. Now it's over to Joel's turn now. He'll take his turn when he wants to. There's a whole collection of games on here. But what was of interest to me, I was talking to one of the head folks over at Board Game Arena, because recently Asmodee started removing some of the mods that the people have created over on Tabletop Simulator to play their games. And I was curious to know, the games that are on Board Game Arena, are these legal? You know, are they just sort of being used and Board Game Arena is hoping that the publishers won't mind that they're using all this copyrighted material to create sort of a gaming area for players. And I was very pleased to hear that, in fact, all of the games, what was the wording here, I think? 100% of our games are approved by their respective publisher. So that's nice to hear, right? Because obviously this is a system that BGA, Board Game Arena, is using to bring people together to play games, sure, but they have things like premium accounts and things you can purchase. So they're financially benefiting from this thing they've created and these games that other people have created. So it's nice to see that the publishers are on board with this. So I appreciate hearing that good news, Greg. And so feel free to play and enjoy these games guilt-free. So that was, thanks. And also I want to say a big thank you to Board Game Arena for reaching out and wanting to sponsor the live show to help us a little bit out financially with this. All right, now you might be seeing here on the table the phone. If you tuned in to our last live show, you might remember that this phone rang. Well, it didn't ring. It was supposed to ring. I had this whole thing set up. It was going to ring, and the technology failed me, and it didn't ring. And then Chaz called in. He was on the other line, and we did this whole silly skit. It really, from a technological standpoint, though, it was falling apart the whole time. It was really, did you hear that sound? That was the sound of, I don't know if you heard that or not, but that was the sound of Joel Eddy taking his turn. I'm going to close down these windows over here so that it's not dinging the whole time while he's taking his turns. Okay. Oh boy, I'm good at this. So yeah, maybe the technology problems are me, not really the other stuff. So anyway, that whole little gag was just kind of a train wreck, and I just want to apologize for that. We won't be doing any more silliness with live phone calls, calling in. That's sort of beneath us, honestly, and we're done with that for now. So, I think I'm getting another call. Hello? Oh, sorry. I can't hear you because I don't have my phone earpiece in. That's obviously required to listen to any phone device. Hello?
Hello, Rodney. Did you?
It's Chaz. Chaz, it's so great to hear from you.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm so glad I got a hold of you. I hope you're not busy. But I had another really important question.
I'm on a live show. You've called into the live show, and what is it I can help you with? What do you want?
Oh, actually, yeah, the social pressure might actually help with my question. I was just calling to borrow some money.
Sorry,
not
you want to borrow money?
Yeah, just enough to start up a business. I'm starting a business, and I just need that seed money for it.
Why do you need money from me?
Well, I'm asking everybody, and you were next on the list. But listen to this. Okay, those charities that will come to your house and test it for radon gas?
No.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's a great service. My business plan is to sue those charities.
Okay. Well, listen. I suppose I could get on board with that, but you've borrowed money from me before. It only ever causes problems. You've disappeared, Chaz. You're like blinking out of existence.
You should be used to it then.
You're sort of blinking out of existence here. No, you're back.
Oh.
Okay. I was kind of hoping you'd just disappear permanently,
yes.
But you keep returning.
Never getting your money back. Yes, you should be used to this scenario.
I think you're blinking in and out because it's like a warning to me that this is a bad idea. See, the problem, look, if I send you money, you know what always happens. You ask for $20, I send you $20, you get it, it's in Canadian money. It doesn't equate, it ends up being like $15, and then we have to make up the extra $5. It feels like it's not a good idea.
Oh, Rodney, don't worry about that at all, because unlike when you give me $20, $25, this is much, much more than that. I was talking to my accountant about this, and about the money that we would need, and my accountant suggested that I need more of it.
Well, that's actually very hard to argue with. Your accountant probably is giving you good advice. You probably should get more money. I don't know if you should get it from me. Listen, how about this? Maybe we can work out a little compromise. I would love. So this is a live show, Chaz, and what I prefer to do here is talk about games and show games and have a little fun. Would you mind if we just put this whole money lending thing aside for a moment, maybe we just play a game together, and maybe if we play the game and it goes well, maybe I'll lend you some money or something. What do you think? Can we do that instead?
Sounds good. I'm in.
You're in? Okay, awesome. Well, I have a game here, but I need more people. Let me see if I can round up some other folks. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone down. I'm just gonna put you on speakerphone. Okay?
Okay.
Because that's how
Amy.
that works. All right, Luke. I don't know where Luke is. He's gonna join me, I think. He's not the
Sounds
only
good.
one though. I'm gonna have Andrew join me as well. See if I could at least get one of my family members to join me. Oh, there's Andrea. Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, Andrea. Thank you for being here. I don't know. Luke's
You're
supposed to be
welcome.
here. He's really only one floor away. He should be able to hear my voice because I've got a game here I want to play with all of us. It's trophies. Have you guys heard of this before?
I haven't.
I know that one
I
of you
have.
have.
I have.
Yeah, and Andrew and I have played this one, and I'm really excited to show this one to you, Chaz. So I'm really super glad you called in. Super glad. It's awesome. I think I hear someone coming. There's Luke. There he is. Fashionably late. Come on in. Swing the chair around. Come on in. We're gonna play some trophies.
Oh boy.
All right, everybody. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's a lot of technology in the place here. No, don't hang up on Chaz. Chaz, are you still there?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good, because he nearly hung up on you. This is delicate technological equipment here. You just can't be slamming things around. Okay, I'll just put them over here. All right. Okay, so this is a game called Trophies. Now, I just want to mention quickly here. Come in, because you're being cut off.
right.
Right, come on over here. So, I want to mention be upfront with everybody. This is a game we've been playing as a family and really enjoying. And I reached out to the company behind it, Facade Games. Facade Games. I think it's probably Facade Games. Facade Games. To see if they would be interested in sponsoring us doing a little live play with all of you here. And you guys will be able to play along. Everyone watching can play along as well, and they agreed to it. So I just want you to know this is a sponsored segment, but I'm still going to talk rather liberally about how I feel about the game because we've been playing it a fair bit and quite enjoying it. But keep that in mind if you have any concerns about biases I might have. So the game comes with this stack of cards. All right, whole bunch of cards here, as you can see. And all of them will have letters on the front. Can everyone who's playing along here, who's on the stream, see the letters? Like, can you see that,
Yes.
Andrea? You're okay? Chaz,
Yeah.
you can see that?
Q.
Not if you're alive. Okay, yeah, good. Okay, excellent. And Luke, you can see it through the reflection. Okay, awesome. So what's going to happen is, on the backs of all the cards is a series of questions. So one person is assigned to be the judge. So I'm going to be the judge. I won't
Judge,
actively
all right.
be playing. It'll be you, it'll be Chaz, it'll be Andrea, and everyone at home. But I'll just be the judge, okay? I pick one of these colored bands, and I will then read the prompt from that band on every card that is revealed. So every time you play, you're going to have 5 different prompts on every single one of these cards. And every time you play, before you play, you shuffle it up. So it means that the prompts on the back will be paired with a different letter on the front.
Easy.
Yeah, pretty straightforward, right? So for example, I might read out this question. Family-friendly activity. Now, don't anyone answer yet. The first person, though, to answer with something that starts with a J will win the point. Okay?
Jaywalking.
Jaywalking. As his parent, I want to assure everyone watching that has not been a family activity that we've encouraged, jaywalking. And the judge has final say on whether or not, like, first of all, who answered first, and also whether or not they're going to accept the answer. People can argue, but the judge has the final say. So jaywalking, for example, if we decided we were going to give Luke that point, I would then give him the card, right? And then I would take the card from behind, the one that had the prompt on it, and I would swing it around to the front, and now I would have a new question on the back and a new letter on the front. Make sense? And you would just go through the entire deck that way. Chaz, I know you haven't played before. I felt like that was a jumbled explanation, but were you able? Hopefully, thankfully, I don't teach games for a living. So, how was that for you?
That was absolutely adequate.
Thank you.
So, when I lose, I now have an excuse.
Okay. Yes, exactly. That's all this is for. So I plucked out 10 cards because we'll do a quick game.
Right.
We got a lot going on here tonight. A lot of things. I know you're very busy, obviously, and
Yeah,
Andrew's got she's monitoring the comments. And Jazz,
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone who sees me looking away. It's because I'm looking to see if anyone's asking questions. I promise I do know where the camera is.
Okay, that's right. No, Andrew, you're doing great. Okay, so I've mixed them up. So, Luke, you do your best not to look behind you. You look
Okay.
straight
Yeah,
ahead,
I'll just look
and
straight
I will. I'll reveal the letters and questions at the same time. All right, everyone. And at home, the way you play is if you shout out an answer and you beat all of us, then give yourself the point. So then in the comments afterwards, you can say how many points you scored. All right? Sound good? All right, is everyone ready? Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is something in a vending machine.
Energy bar.
Oh, good, quick answer from Andrea. Energy bar for you. That was a good one.
I was gonna say eggs, but I don't. You don't find those too often in vending machines.
Yeah,
You know
chocolate
what?
eggs.
My
Maybe
old work
Easter
had
eggs.
eggs in a vending machine. They were
Really?
boiled eggs.
Did
Yeah.
you- sorry, did you say boiled eggs? Was that
How
when you were in
hot did they
Japan?
keep that vending machine?
It was like a refrigerated one.
Oh, no kidding.
Huh?
Okay. I asked if
Yeah.
it was maybe from when you were in Japan, because I know in Japan they have a whole variety of vending machines we don't find necessarily over here in North America, right?
No, it was in America.
Okay.
Specifically
Wow.
in Florida.
I would have been right.
Wow. You could have been right. I would have been denying you, and Andrea might have come to your defense on that one.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for the next one? Here we go. The next one is a recent invention. The letter Y.
Yahtzee.
See, I'm not going to accept that. That doesn't feel very recent to me. I mean, I guess if you're considering the lifespan of the entire universe, then Yahtzee.
I was.
Oh, okay. Well, I might have to give it to you because I have not heard anyone shout out anything else. All of you at home, if you shouted out something else, I guarantee it was a better answer, and I'm giving you the point. But anyone else?
No.
That's fair.
I've gotten some good ones over here.
Okay, well, I'm giving it. Chaz, you have got it with Yahtzee. Because he's the only one.
Default.
All right, so the next one is, it's the letter G, an unhealthy food.
Garbage.
Gum.
Oh, so Chaz volunteered garbage.
That's what I was
Got it
thinking.
in there just before Andrea, who said gum. And I think in this case, I might have to give this one to Andrea.
Thank you.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's a wise choice.
So, even Chaz is saying, okay, fine, that one's for Andrea. Okay, let's do one here for the letter L. Your worst nightmare.
Luke.
Live streams.
I heard Luke. That was pretty clever.
Wait a minute.
That was a pretty good one, Andrea. But I'm going to give it to Chaz because it
Live
is my
streams,
worst
yep.
nightmare for sure. All right. So we've got 2 points for Chaz, 2 points for Andrea. Luke, you're not on the scoreboard.
I am
It doesn't
not.
matter. It's fine. It's a game for fun. We're having fun here. Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Here we go. The letter P, something that jumps or bounces.
Pigs.
Puma.
Don't make me say
They
take
do
pigs.
have those curly tails.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I have to give it to pigs.
Oh,
What'd you say?
Puma.
Puma's pretty good.
They leap.
They do leap. That's true. Need to be a little faster. What this is rewarding is fast, not necessarily quality.
Oh,
The springy tail. Do pigs really bounce and jump?
They can't even
Piglets.
look up.
Depends
They
how
just-
hard
they
you-
just kinda
pigs.
waddle.
What'd you say, Chaz?
I didn't say anything. Please continue to that question.
Okay. All right. Maybe the baby pigs, Andrea. You're right. Okay. So the next one, letter F. Family show. Remember, something old.
Furniture.
I mean, I don't mind the answer furniture.
I do. That was I'm striking.
You'll
it
notice I
correct.
didn't react when he said it.
Fossils. Fossils.
Did I-
That's a good one.
Who said fossils?
Luke.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't
No,
say
he didn't say
No,
it.
I didn't say nothing.
Was that you,
Oh.
Chaz?
No, that was me.
Oh, well done. That's a
right.
very good answer. After furniture, I am quite happy to award this fossils. I'm really glad you didn't say father. All right, so moving
So
on.
If you blurt out something, you're not necessarily out of the
No,
round.
you're not
You
at the
can
round.
blurt-
No. This is
you're not tied to your initial answer.
yeah. Like if you blurt out something and then you come up with a second one faster before something else, I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
All right. The letter O. Give me a silly word.
Orangutan.
Octopus.
Orangutan. That's a winner, right? Octopus is pretty good. Do we like orangutan? I think we like orangutan on that
I have
one.
no points.
And-
Give
and he
me
has no
something.
points.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Luke, you take it.
All right. So we got the letter D, and this one is something in a parade.
Dancers.
Dancers. Got to give it to dancers. That's a good one, Andrea. Dancers in a parade. All right, so that's another point for Andrea. And we got 2 questions left. The letter M. Oh, wait. I am obviously made a mistake here. I'm going to switch that. Oh, you know what? I've been goofing this up. I've been putting the letter into the pile rather than the question.
The question.
So,
card.
It's fine. I do that, and then we're good. No.
Do you want one of these back?
Hold on. Everything's fine, everybody. What was that about the worst nightmare? Okay. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of rules in this game. Okay. Just give me what's that one? Is that okay? No, we've done that one already. Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine, everybody. It's okay. We'll just okay. I'm just gonna grab a couple. Here we go. Everything's fine. Everyone, just pay attention. All right. So here's what we're doing next. This one, the letter G. Someone you're related to.
Grandfather.
Grandma?
Yeah, I heard that from Andrea first. It's a point for Andrea. Okay. 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 It's fine. Okay. Something you did today. The letter T.
Television.
You did television.
Yes.
There's no television in your room.
It's on my laptop.
What did you say?
Talk.
I'm giving it to Luke.
Oh, I'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
All right. Okay. So after you're all done, there is an award the judge can hand out. This is the Eurowinner Participation Trophy. It doesn't go to the winner. It just goes to somebody the judge wants to hand this to. I'm going to hand this one to Luke. I'm just
2
glad
points.
he participated. Thank you, Luke. It's also the easiest one for me to give this to.
Yeah, exactly.
But the game also comes with the cutest, tiniest little metal trophy for the actual winner. And in this case, let's see our point score. Andrew, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Chaz, you have 3. Andrea, you are declared the winner, and you get the little trophy. But Andrea's
You can come bring that up.
I can't bring it up to
my
Andrea.
room
Right,
after.
Andrea's actually self-isolating right now. She's home from being away, and so the rules here in PEI, like in a lot of places, you have to self-isolate for 14 days. So this is actually one of the first times I've seen Andrea today is on the live stream here. So I'll hang on to this for you, Andrea. So that is the game.
Thank you. Just 4 more days.
That's the game
and I can
trophies.
take it.
One of the things that I really liked about this, it was over Christmas that I played it for the first time, and we were with Christy's family. There was about an extended family. There was maybe, 10 of us in the room, maybe sitting
Yeah.
around.
I
And
think, yeah.
what's that about that? Yeah.
Give or take.
And I just cracked it out, and no one had to get up and go anywhere. Everyone could just stay seated where they were, and we just played through the entire deck, and people could come and go as they pleased. You know, people were like, okay, I got to go work on the turkey, or I got to go do something. They'd get up and leave, but then people could also, what are you guys playing? And they just jump right in. And it got competitive and silly and fun, and so that's trophies. And happy to be able to share that one with you folks here. And Andrea, thank you very much for joining me. Luke, thank
You're very
you
welcome.
for joining me.
I'll
I'm
be
going to
back.
say goodbye to Luke, yes. Chaz, do you want to stick around for a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I was supposed to start a live stream on the Paradise channel about a half hour ago, but yeah, sure, I got time. Yeah, let's-
Wonderful, wonderful. You can earn this money I'm going to loan you. How about that? Andrea,
Okay.
thanks again for joining. I'm going to switch you off now. Andrew's going to be monitoring the questions. We will get to your questions, everybody. Thank you, Andrea, for your help. Let's see if I can switch over here to a view where just me and Chaz are on the shot. Okay. All right. Chaz, we did it. We got through a game there with minimal technical difficulties. All right, I do have a couple of questions actually that came in that I wanted to talk about. Before I do that, though, I'll just mention quickly a little quick plug for the channel here. Hopefully, people don't mind. But I want to mention we have the Watch It Played game shelf poster that we're selling. You'll find links to that in the description below. We also have the Teespring store that just opened up recently. We've had some nice sales going there. People are picking up the mugs and the sweaters and the shirts, and we have one with our logo. We have one with just the 3 figures there as well. And I think, was there another product we put on there recently? I noticed you can make fanny packs. Have you made one of those yet? Chaz, for your channel, have you made a fanny pack?
I have not made a fanny pack. I made the canvas tote bag.
That
haven't
seems
done
more
the fanny
practical.
packs. Yeah, I did make neat 4-inch stickers that were really nice quality stickers, and the 3-figure logo would actually make a really good
You
sticker
know,
too.
I had somebody ask me if I was going to make the stickers. I hadn't done it yet. They're good quality, you found?
Yes, they are. They're
Okay,
very
well maybe
nice.
I'll think about popping that on there. So yeah, if you like to sport the Watch It Played colors, you can do that over the Teespring store. And during the live show, you can also do the super chat. There's a little like $ button down in the chat. If you want to ask a question, it'll highlight it as a super chat. It donates money to the show, which is very helpful and supportive. But let's dive into some questions now, shall we? So I have a question here. Oh, darn it. I'm going to have to switch away from you quickly, Chaz, because I'm bad at my job. So the question is, I'm just going to put it on the screen here because I realize I don't have it in the other view where you're here. I'll just read it out. What is the one thing that has been getting better over the years in board gaming, and what is one thing that still needs improvement? All right, so that's the question from Vincent. Thank you, Vincent, for asking that question. I'll jump back over here to Chaz. So what's one thing that is improving and one thing that could still stand to be improved further? Do you have something on your mind for something that's improved?
I think, well, the obvious thing that comes to my mind first, as kind of a component proponent myself,
Right.
is with the advent of Kickstarter and just the way our industry has grown, that sort of competition always leads itself to people pushing themselves to increase the quality of their product. And we've seen that, artwork, component quality, craftsmanship, all of those things have just skyrocketed over the last 5 to 10 years. And all the gamers and collectors have benefited from it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. There's no question. You go back, I don't know, 10, 15 years, especially go back 20 years, the component quality in board games was as cheap as you could make it. Basically, was a lot of the cases, and minimal artwork oftentimes as well. And I think you're right. I think it's the competition. Kickstarter. I think of Mechs versus Minions. When that was released, I remember there being a little bit of a pushback from other publishers, going like, "This is going to set a bad precedent," because people's expectations for what can be made and sold at that price are going to be like pushed out of whack. There's probably some truth to that, frankly. They had a
Sure.
unique distribution model. They were selling their stuff only directly. So they were able to cut out the middleman or the middle person there who would be taking a chunk of the profits potentially, right? So they were very
Yes.
strategic in their release. But I think it also, sometimes pushing that expectation does force, as you said, the competition to go like, well, what can we do? How can we sort of rise to this challenge? And I think you're right, we
Yeah.
are seeing that.
Yeah. I think that the industry also benefits from the fact that I think the majority of publishers and designers out there, also have such passion for this hobby. They see something that can be done and they instantly get in their mind, oh, I want to do that too. I want that in my game. And so I think it's, not necessarily just a purely bottom line competition driven. It's also just, driven by passion too.
You're right.
Which is really cool.
A lot of publishers are gamers. And I have to imagine that look, the proliferation of game trays. We're seeing so many game trays in so many products now. I have to imagine it's a lot of publishers who looked at them and went, this is going to cost me more money to do. Some people will like it, some people won't care. But I think a lot of them see it as, yes, a quality of life benefit to gamers. But I have to imagine it's also maybe a little bit of pride too. Like, I want my game displayed and packaged in this really nice way. A little bit of that gamer in them too, right?
I think that's a really good example. Like, the game trays fit into that category really well.
All right, well, what's something that can be improved? Now, look, one thing I talked about recently when I was on the Dice Tower, we did a top 10 enemies of gaming. And one of the things that I had said is, I think seeing more diversification and representation in the games that we play would be not a bad thing. When you have a cast of characters and you have more than just a bunch of white dudes, I think that's a good thing for the hobby. I think it communicates a message to people who are looking at the hobby from the outside. They kind of look in and go, oh, this is potentially for me as well. I'm seeing myself reflected in the different characters and choices and options. I know if I'm sitting down to play a game with my family, I have a daughter and obviously my wife, if all the characters are male, that's fine. They don't mind playing as a male character, but sometimes they'd like to be able to play as a female character, and I kind of appreciate that, right? So it's nice when you see more of those options. Obviously, you can't create a character for all the wide diversity, but more diversity, I think, is better than less overall, right? Every game can't be perfect that way, but more of them doing it, I think, is a better thing.
Yeah, I know it stands out to me when I break out a game, and my daughter, who's 13 now, when I take out a character sheet, and that character sheet just happens to be two-sided, and I flip it over, and there's some female character that looks more like my daughter. It's like, hey, cool.
Right,
That
right.
always that stands out to me as a parent too, as something I really appreciate.
I also-
so yeah, that's definitely.
I like it too for the ability for myself even to be able to choose to be a different looking character, or to play
Oh, yeah,
as
sure.
a girl or something. You know what I mean? Like just to have those options. So I think that's something that can be improved, but I do think it's improving, which is a nice thing. I think I'm definitely seeing lots more of it now than I did, even 5 years ago, right? So
Sure.
so that's positive. What other things could be improved? I don't know. I mean, it's tempting to pick on rule books, because I still read I read rule books all the time, and I definitely encounter ones where I go, this clearly was not blind play tested before it was put in the box. This was clearly written by someone who knew the rules inside and out in their head, but it was never play tested to someone who'd never played it before, so that person could go, I don't understand what this means. Obviously the person writing it knew what it meant, but the person reading it for the first time has no idea. I still encounter that quite frequently, and I would like to see more rule books get that blind play test treatment. And look, obviously it's good for business when the rule books aren't that great and people go running for a video, but that's not really what I want the channel to be for. Like, I want it to be a complement to the rule book. Because no matter how good the rule book is, a video, more times than not, is going to be a little faster and it's going to be a little clearer just because there's so many visuals. So there'll always be a benefit to it. I just want a good rule book so people have a good reference to go back to, when they are looking for that rule and they don't want to go watch the whole video again, I don't know. That's one thing I suppose that could still be improved.
Do you think that our industry in general can improve on how we reach more non-gamers, more the mainstream audience?
Yeah. Boy, I feel like you could probably sit down and write a whole strategy around what you would do to do more of that. Do you have any ideas off the top of your head?
Oh boy, now I regret asking the question.
That's you see. I mean, there's some obvious things, right? There's some obvious things. There are creating content and media that strays away from some of the inside baseball language. Being careful not to name drop in deck building and worker placement and things like that don't mean anything to someone outside the hobby. Having more things like that. Our friend Dave Finkel, actually, he's been working on a newsletter because his friends locally know him as the game guy, and they're like, "You play games? What would you recommend to our family?" And he's been really enjoying giving recommendations. And more friends in his circle are coming to him going, we played this game, we played this with a friend, we loved it, what other recommendations do you have? So he's writing this little newsletter, which is geared specifically towards targeting people outside the hobby and helping them find things, right, that would be a good fit for where they're at in the hobby. And at some point in the future, I will share that newsletter. I'm not sharing it right now because I think he's currently working on getting a website so people can sign up to the newsletter a lot easier. So I'll wait until that's in place before I link people up to it. But he's a really funny writer, and it's really good. I think those are ways that can be helpful.
Oh yes, it seemed like you segued into that as a response to dropping the jargon out of it. But that's also a great example of just being an evangelist. Every single one of us that's in the board games is the game guy to someone else,
right,
some other group. And using that as a way to evangelize the hobby and reach new people, like Dave creating this newsletter, he's just doing it again out of his own passion for the hobby, and that's a really good way to show people what's out there at a level of what they are looking for, instead of games that are way more advanced.
Well, I think we hopefully answered that question somewhat sufficiently. I have another question here. I'm just going to jump away from Chaz for a moment and bring up the other question I have here, which I thought might be a good fit for both of us. Have you or would you ever have a guinea pig as a pet? I don't know why I thought this would be actually a good question for us. Let me go back to Chaz here. What do you think? Would you ever have a guinea pig as a pet?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I had a hamster in high school, and when I no longer had the hamster, I was okay. So
It's funny you say that. I did have a guinea pig, and that's exactly how I felt. The idea of it, the concept of it, I quite liked, but it was a little more effort than I wanted from that little fur ball. Actually, I have a video. Oh my gosh, I have a video. I didn't set this up. Let me see if I can quickly pop this in. I have a video of a rap that I did. Oh boy, if anyone wants to tune out now at this point in the live stream, it's probably best for all of us, frankly. But I think I do have a rap, a board game rap that I recorded. Oh my gosh, do I have this here?
with the guinea pig in the
Oh
background.
no, it's playing and I don't want it
What's
to.
that
I don't
pain
even
in
know.
my ear? Did I just get a splinter? No, that was Kyle Lee rapping about dead of winter. Podcasters
Right.
doing rap. Why should I care? Cause bad rap's are my job. I'll choke you out like a bear, or at least a guinea pig. All the while learning games, consuming rule books like a zombie eats brains. A game about snow and enough zombies to fill a stadium. You better step off. This is a job for a Canadian. Let me grab my toques and poutine and maple syrup like Rick Grimes on Mount a Horse. Feet in the stirrups, lead the colony to safety and maintaining my swagger. My rap's mechanical and themed. You can call me Isaac Vega or Johnny Gilmore, cause I sent you into the night. You just rolled the exposure die and got a bite. Struggling with the rules, brain starting to fade. Head on over to my channel and watch it played.
Okay, so I will never ever do that again. Just impromptu open a video on live stream. It just started to play right away. I have no idea if there was any audio. I looked ridiculous in it. I wish I had had a moment to just look at it quickly first to see if I did want to share it. But there you go. So you could see there was a guinea pig in the background, and at one point in the rap lyrics I make a reference to. That was a weird video. So Happy Mitten Podcast used to be a podcast about board games, and they did some kind of little rap on their podcast. And look, you and I have both done a few little rap exchanges on social media, Chaz, and when I heard them do that, I just felt inspired to do something in response, so I did, and that was that. And that was the guinea pig from back in the day. But we did find a nice, loving home for that guinea pig to go off to. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, yeah. So, but you're actually a big rap fan, right?
I dabble.
You dabble?
A little on the fringes. If you want to get pedantic about it, I would say that I'm actually probably, I would consider myself more of a turntablist fan of
okay.
turntablism
Yes.
than than rap itself. But let's not split guinea pig hairs.
Sure.
Why?
Do you have any favorites?
Why do you ask?
Well, I
Oh.
was into rap more in the 90s, and I don't listen to much now. Like Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Black Sheep, what else? LL Cool J.
Yep.
What about you? You're a Beastie Boys fan, aren't you?
I am a big time Beastie Boys fan. Yes, yeah, they're my second favorite artist. So can't get enough of them. But yeah, you mentioned LL Cool J.
Yes.
Yep. LL Cool J is he is actually the only rapper where I think I have all but one of his albums. I've like his
kidding.
whole library.
Why do you not have
Yep,
that
yep.
one album? Why are you missing one?
There's one album that it just doesn't do anything for me,
Okay.
and it's like I just don't think I need this one in my collection.
It's by choice.
And,
I got you.
It's by choice. Yeah, I do veer towards that completionism fault
Right.
that I think we both know and love so much about ourselves.
Yes.
But I drew the line there.
Okay.
At that. There's also a couple of. Hold on. My phone thought I said hello Google, so let me just turn that
Is
off.
that your live stream calling you away?
Yeah. There's a couple of internet based rappers that kind of made their start on the internet that I enjoy. There's one named Watsky, who has a couple of really good songs. There's a guy named Zach Sherwin,
Right.
who he does a lot of wordplay in his raps. Like he has one entire song where he doesn't use the letter E. He has one where he takes two words and he mixes up those words to make rhymes that go back and forth
Right.
about those words. It's amazing. But getting back to
So a little bit of a gimmick to
turntable-
his material.
some of it,
Yeah.
yes, not all of it, but some of it. But his wordplay stuff is amazing.
Okay.
I'm a fan of that, and my jaw drops.
See, I
when see his
I
stuff.
noticed that you didn't list me as one of your favorite rappers. I couldn't help but notice that. Probably an omission. I don't want you to think you would have embarrassed me if you had. So feel free to, if you want to
Oh, well,
say that I'm one of
okay.
your favorites.
Oh yeah, well, no, I only had one more on my list that I thought of to mention, and it totally wasn't you either. And that is getting back to the pure form of turntablism. There's a group called the Executioners with Rock Rada, Mr. Sinister, and Rob Swift. Who do a lot of turntablism
Right.
and stuff, scratching and mixing. In fact, if you have YouTube Premium or the YouTube Music service, there's a Rob Swift album called Soulful Fruit, which mixes some jazz, some turntables, some just experimental stuff. It's a great album. I just discovered it like a couple months ago, and it's totally in my
Well, there you go.
rotation
Something to
almost
check out. I'll check it out too.
There you go. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Chaz, I'm going to have to let you go because I'm sure now I have a pile of questions from the YouTube chat, and I want to dive into those. And I'm going to have to do those rapid fire. And if I stay on here with you, we're just going to end up talking about rap and guinea pigs for the next half hour. So,
right.
I will thank you first of all again for joining into the live show and being a good sport and playing along.
Oh, thank you for keeping me here under the false pretense that you thought it would make me forget about the money you're going to loan me. So I appreciate
I was
it.
so hoping I could hang up before you mentioned it again, but oh no. Okay,
Not a
listen,
chance.
I'll send you some money. We'll figure it out afterwards. All right, Chaz. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, there's Chaz gone. Woo. All right, I'm gonna put these the live show call-in phones away for a second, and now let's jump into some of your questions. Let's do it. I'm going to bring those up here on the side. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to John Stroman for the super chat. Didn't have a question, just wanted to donate. Appreciate your support for that, John. Thanks for being a part of the stream. And the next question I have on here is from Funky Cat Games. It says, do you plan on making a gameplay video with Luke or something anytime soon? Well, a full gameplay, no plans currently. We did actually do a gameplay video with Luke and Andy. It was more of a highlight reel in our Stay Cool tutorial. If you didn't see our Stay Cool tutorial, watch that or skip to the end. You'll see us, a little highlight reel from all of us playing together. That was fun to do. And you got a little bit of a gameplay tonight here as we played trophies as well. But hopefully we'll get some more gameplay in the future. Dan Goldstein would like to know, do I have a favorite wine and or spirit? I do not have a particularly advanced palate when it comes to liquor or spirits or wine. I sort of just like what I like, and I try lots of different things. I wouldn't say I have a particular favorite. When it comes to wine, I like whites, I like reds, I like, I'm not fussy. So that's a terrible answer to a good question. Gaston would like to know, what game would you like to play once quarantine is over? Ooh. So I guess the question is like to go out and play with at a game group or with friends. That is a good question. I'm just scanning. I'm looking away over here at my game shelf. I'm not gonna. I was thinking I wouldn't pick a game that is one I haven't played yet because I'd like it to be something. Oh, I know I really want to go play this. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. The 100 Tori. The 100 Tori from Pencil First Games. You'll find a tutorial for that on the channel. I really like that game, and I want more and more people to find it and experience it. So I'm going to be out there advocating to get that game to the table with some of my my local game groups. So thanks for the question. And let's see here. We got a nice super chat here from Yannick Samard thanking for, I guess the rap, you could hear it. I guess, Andrew, let me know in the chat whether or not people could hear the rap, or if maybe they're thanking me because they couldn't hear the rap, which I would understand that as well. But I'm glad you enjoyed that, Yannick. All right. Rufus91 asks, did you build your own set? No, I did not. This was the fantastic work of a local couple, actually, who have a company here that we've worked with in our house before. We had like a room we wanted to renovate, and we got some ideas from them. They really came in and said, here's some ideas we have. We thought the ideas were great. They did a fantastic job. And so when I was thinking about trying to turn our unfinished basement, which is what this was before all of this, into something that could be an actual workspace, I reached out to them. And again, they had really good ideas, and they did fantastic work. And I feel like this is an opportunity, a moment, to thank people again for supporting the show over the years, because none of this would have been possible without your support. We had a fundraiser one year where specifically part of the stretch goal money was to help fund this. And it may seem like a silly thing because the videos before, I mean, you could see there was a backdrop and like it looked like it was a finished space, but it wasn't at all. There were no walls other than a fake one I had behind me. And it was often cold down here to work. And you know, it's a funny little psychological thing when you're, you know, doing your work and your recycling's over there in clear view and your storage stuff. Everything's just kind of a cluttered mess. Now it's a sort of a proper space to work in day after day after day after day. So a big thank you to everybody who's ever supported the show in the past and who's doing it now. It really, it ends up impacting my life in ways you can't even imagine probably, but it means a great deal. Meeple Overboard. How would you describe yourself as a flavor? How would I describe myself as a flavor? Well, I mean, it's tempting to say something maple syrupy because I'm Canadian. I could lean on that trope, but I think I'm. I don't know. Heavenly Hash ice cream, maybe. It is one of my favorites. How would I break it down? Well, I love chocolate. As a flavor, sweet kind of a flavor to it. And hopefully people think of me as a sweet person, I don't know. But also it's got these like crunchy little chocolate bits too. There's little nuggets in there of something, you know, underneath the surface. Maybe that's true of me. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Let's just say Heavenly Hash and move on. Okay. Bob Fick, thank you for the super chat and the comment saying it's a great show. After that answer, I don't know. It might all be downhill from here. But thank you so much, Bob, for the support and the kind super chat. Shorty Dancer, when are we planning on getting more vlogs on your other channel? I really enjoy those. You seem like a good person. Well, that's very kind of you to say. Thank you. The next time I do a vlog, it's been a little while since there's been a vlog. There is a reason for it. It's not directly all related to COVID-19 and the things that are going on in the world that way, although that has its own kind of impact on it, I suppose. There are a couple of other reasons, and I think when I do the next vlog, I will discuss it there. Not trying to be a tease or build it up or anything, but there are some reasons. But I am definitely getting back to it, and I look forward to getting back to it when I get a chance. Although I have to say, things have been busier than ever with Watch It Played in the show, so I've sort of needed the time away from it, frankly, but I do look forward to getting back to it in earnest. Thanks for the question, and thanks for being curious about it. If you're not familiar with the vlog, you can still subscribe to the Rodney J. Smith channel. You should find that linked in the description below, hopefully. If not, it's youtube.com/Rodney J. Smith, and I have vlogs there that are a little bit more personal and about my daily life, and they run about 10 or so minutes, and maybe it's something you might enjoy. All right, going on to the next question. And how are we doing for time? Well, we are almost at time, but I did start a little late. So let's see if I can knock out a few more questions here. So let's see. We have a question here from Stephen Alfieri, who asks, what games have you found work well playing remotely? Well, listen, I'll tell you, this game has worked fantastic, Trophies. And again, I'm not just saying it because, you know, they did a nice little sponsor spot on the show. It really does work fantastically. Andrew would tell you as well, my family would tell you, we played it over a giant, you know, video conferencing session with family. And again, it's perfect. It's so easy to teach, and it's so easy to play. And again, people will have fun shouting out fun and silly answers. I've got a video that I'm going to be making and releasing, I think, next week, if all goes well, actually showing people how to play the game Villainous over, I was going to say Skype. Yeah, over Skype or Zoom or whatever you might be using. Now, this is not using some kind of digital implementation. It's actually using a physical copy. So if you and a friend have a physical copy, you can play remotely. And it's just going to give you some tips and tricks about how to run that and do it smoothly. And that might be of interest to people. What are some other games? I mean, a lot of different party games can work. Wits and Wagers is another game that can work quite nicely. Actually, you know what? I was asked to be a part of an article. Let me see if I can find that article here for you. Just give me a moment. I'm going to try to bring this up on the internet so I can show you the link. Do I have it here? Yes, I do. Now, I'm going to show this to you using the screen that looks like Board Game Arena, although we're not switching to Board Game Arena right now. It is here. The 11 best games to play on Zoom. Plan a virtual game night with these expert-approved picks. Well, I don't know about experts, but so this is on today.com, and I was invited to share a couple of picks that I had, and so were a few other folks. And this article talks about some game options here, like games like Wavelength, Tales from the Loop. Certainly, role-playing games would work well, right? Trivial Pursuit, why not? Another game that would work very easily remotely. Pictionary, again, party games tend to work pretty good. Codenames is another one that can work pretty well. With Codenames, you might have a little more work to do in terms of setting up the board and making sure everyone can see it, but as long as you have the capacity to do that, Codenames would work well. Here's one of my entries here, trophies. This is the little part of the article that I had submitted. Wits and Wagers was another one that I mentioned. I don't think Yahtzee was mine, or Categories. Cartographers was, though. That's another one that I mentioned because roll and writes, this one is more of a flip and write. Those can work as well. So yeah, that's a couple of different ideas there, potentially. And I think a lot of people are finding right now a lot of different games that are working. If you have any, feel free to put them in the comments below. If you're watching this after the fact, or if you're watching right now in the live chat, maybe it'll give people some ideas. Jessica Smith says that her husband would like to know if I'm a hockey fan and if I love fellow Halifaxer, Sidney Crosby, also a Blue Noser. We call people from Nova Scotia. I was originally from Nova Scotia, lived in that province, and I actually grew up in Halifax. I'm not a hockey fan. Well, I guess if I'm being blunt about it, I guess I'm not a hockey fan. I don't dislike hockey, but I don't watch it with any regularity. Sports were not something that were watched when I was growing up in my household. I think a lot of people, probably get into sports through other family members, older siblings, maybe parents who watch. And we would watch some of the major sporting events. Maybe we would watch the Olympics, for example, or we would watch curling. Sometimes on the weekend we might turn on something on sports, but it was not something we followed with any kind of religious attention. And so I couldn't tell you like what my favorite team was or something like that. I did watch basketball was my sport to follow, and I followed it mostly during the 90s. It's actually been fantastic watching this documentary that's on right now on Netflix called Last Dance, because that's around the time that I was watching and paying quite a bit of attention to basketball. And this is talking about the Chicago Bulls and their incredible 6-title run. If you're not watching it, I highly recommend it. Even if you're not into sports, I think it's quite an interesting documentary. There's been 4 episodes so far, and there's going to be 10 in the series. A very kind donation from Edgar Mendez. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's very generous. No question attached to it, but please let me just take a quick moment and thank you for the super chat and for being a part of our live shows. I always like when people jump in here. Meeple Overboard had a question for Chaz. Unfortunately, he's not here. I will pass that along to him privately. Arturo Carenza, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name there. Asking a question about the trophies game. Interesting question. This game depends merely on the dealer's mood, consideration. It can be kind of unfair, isn't it? Yeah, it could be. I think it really depends on the dynamic of your group. So this is a pretty large stack of questions, first of all. So let's just say for a moment you had a pretty decent sized group of people playing, and maybe 1 or 2 questions the players felt the judge wasn't being perfectly fair. Well, hopefully that's not going to skew things too terribly. But I've found, at least in the groups that I played with, people enjoyed the judge being a little fickle and a little silly. And none of them were taking it so seriously that the points really mattered. Now, that's not to say that when you play, you can't make it a very serious game where the points really do matter. But in that case, you might want to pick a judge who's going to take their role very seriously. But at a certain point, you kind of have to pass it over to the judge and go like, well, we just have to accept your word as law, because at the end of the day, that's how it works. Someone might answer a question first, but their question might not really jive with the prompt, right? So someone's got to make a call there. And, you don't want to be fighting, right? So let me just do that. Okay. So hopefully that kind of answers your question. But again, you have to figure out sometimes what games are going to work for the temperament of your group, and not all games will, right? Kevin Weffer would like to know, what do you think the future of tabletop gaming will hold? Do you think it can survive without the social interaction of being at the table with other people? So I think this question maybe Kevin is asking from the perspective of what's going on right now in society with COVID and that. I certainly think it can survive. I think it will evolve. I think, if anything, this might be a time where people who traditionally said, I don't want to play board games online over Skype or over Zoom or on, say, Board Game Arena, I definitely would rather play with the physical components. This might be a time where some of those folks are pushing out of their comfort zone and trying some of the other methods and finding they're enjoying it, and will continue doing that beyond the time when we no longer have to do it necessarily. I think that's a good thing. It might provide people with opportunities to play games more often than they would otherwise be able to do. I mean, a lot of the times what holds us back from being able to play games is time and opportunity and being able to arrange times to get together with other people. Things like Board Game Arena, for example, make it a little bit easier to schedule times because you don't all have to be sitting together necessarily. But I don't think anything can ever replace that in-person interaction. And I think, if anything, people will be craving that all the more when some of these restrictions lift, right? David M. would like to know, how do you handle obnoxious players, cheaters, and or grossly competitive players at the table? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Cheaters, there's really only one way that I know of to handle. I mean, it's tough. There's got to be there's some nuance to this answer. There has to be, because everything's very situational. If it's someone who's a close friend and they're cheating, you might deal with them differently than someone who's a stranger who's cheating at a game. But I think cheating kind of has to be called out because it breaks the integrity of the gaming experience, I would think, for most players at the table. Unless, again, you're playing with a bunch of people who enjoy the sort of cheating and seeing what they can get away with. But if most people I know would not enjoy playing games in that kind of environment. If someone's valuing winning to the point where they no longer care about the integrity of the experience that everyone's engaged in, then I would say that person is an outlier to the social agreement, the social contract that everyone is sort of informally agreeing to when they sit down to play a game. That's a very mouthy way of saying that I think you have to tell someone, look, you were cheating. It's clear you're cheating. That has to stop, or I'm not going to play games with you. We can do other things together. We can go to the movies together. We can go for a walk together. We can watch sports together. But we can't play games together because you're not capable of valuing being honest with me during that activity. You know, those are difficult conversations to have, but I think if you embrace the truth of what you're saying, it makes it less difficult because you know it's the right, you know you're saying the right thing, you know they're in the wrong, so you be as charitable as you can, but you also have to be as straightforward as you can. Now, when you're dealing with somebody who's just maybe a little difficult to be with or to game with, you have some options. Some options are to not play games with them as much. If you're in a larger group, then maybe you gravitate towards other people. Not everything has to be a big confrontation. But if someone's being so obnoxious that they're affecting a lot of people in the gaming group particularly, once again, hopefully you maybe have some people in the gaming group who are sort of in a leadership position or that people respect who could talk to them. Maybe they have a friend, a close friend, who could talk to them. We did have a situation like that in our local game group at one point in time. And that's exactly what we did. A couple of us approached them privately afterwards. Didn't want to embarrass them in front of other people and just said, look, some of these behaviors that you're doing they're abrasive. They're confrontational. It's making other people feel intimidated, and we don't really feel like it fits the tone of what we're trying to create overall here. We are not saying you need to leave the group, but we're just asking, are you able to kind of agree to the terms that we're kind of looking for here to make this social experience fun for the majority of the people, not just for you? And in the end, it didn't work out. They did not really want to change who they were, and that's fine. But hopefully, they find a group that's a better fit for them. Difficult situation, really, to deal with. We want games to be fun, but the reality is human beings are involved, and human beings are not always fun, right? All right. So what's your rapper name, asks MJ. I had a couple. Back in the 90s, I used to, I would craft little raps and stuff for fun. Rodney C. Smith, the C is for killer, was one. Papa J was another. We don't need to talk about it. It's all kind of embarrassing now that I think about it. All right, Amanda Panda would like to know, will you ever do a Watch It Paint, painting miniatures? maybe. It's something that I did consider and ponder at one point in time when Pep was a co-host here on the show. We talked about maybe doing some kind of painting show. I had a little more experience than he did, and I thought maybe it'd be kind of fun to teaching you sort of a method and see if you can follow along. We could kind of compare them side by side and see how it goes. Time will be the enemy there, I think, in trying to do something kind of outside of the norm of what I'm set up to do. And there are also lots of other great resources for that. But if I could find a clever, interesting, or unique approach to take with it, then I would consider it. And I think that sort of one person teaching somebody else and sort of being able to do the side-by-side comparison could be kind of interesting. One Pip Wonder, one of my favorite YouTube channels. Thanks for asking the question, One Pip Wonder. If you're not already following One Pip Wonder, I recommend that you do. I think you can probably click on her account name there, and hopefully it will take you to her YouTube channel. Lots of fun and funny and also informative videos there about the hobby and other things. Have you been kayaking yet, Rodney? Asks the One Pip Wonder. I was this close today. I really was. It was a beautiful day out. Temperature-wise, it was about 6 degrees Celsius. Not exactly warm, and it was a little windy. So I decided not to brave it. Actually, I went out and shot a few hoops today. That was my little bit of physical activity. But I was looking at the water thinking, maybe soon. Maybe soon. Oh, Pow Speed Art, thank you very kindly for the Super Chat donation. People are being very generous this evening with the Super Chats. Really appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words about the show. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and stick around. I plan to keep making videos for a while yet, hopefully. All right, so Jennifer Sims would like to know, would you consider making a how-to-play video of a game entirely using rap, maybe for next year's April Fools? Well, you see, the thing is, I don't intentionally try to drive people away from the channel. Some people might tune into an episode and not care for it, but I'm not actively trying to drive them away. I think that might actively drive them away. So I don't know that I would consider doing that. Jennifer, So Meeples on the Ground asks, would you ever consider doing a behind-the-scenes video with equipment listings? You know, someone, John from John Gets Games, did a video recently on his channel talking about the whole process behind making one of his tutorial and gameplay videos. It's about a 45-minute video. I did a video, a behind-the-scenes video here on the channel. Gosh, that was some time ago. I could try to remember. Andrew, would you mind making a note for me to put a link in the description below to that video? And it's a bit outdated now, frankly, because the equipment that I'm using now is different. But it does give a little bit of behind the scenes in the process of creating a tutorial video. It's not something I've done in a while. It's something I would consider. I don't know if I'd dedicate an entire video to it. Maybe something short for social media, maybe. So if you follow Watch It Played on Twitter, that may be a place to find it, or on Facebook. I might pop something like that in there, perhaps. All right, how are we doing for questions? I think we're almost to the end of what Andrew's got here for me, so that's good, because I'm a little over now, but I'll try to answer a couple more questions. Amanda Panda would like to know, does Elvis the Bean? So Elvis is our cat's name. Bean has kind of become his de facto name. I mainly only ever call him Bean now. Does he love you all being home all the time? He's a cat. He doesn't care. In fact, I think he's annoyed. He's annoyed with it half the time. The rest of the time, he's waking me up when I'm trying to sleep. I'm sure he loves it. He's ridiculous. He's now jumping up on the highest cupboards you can find in our kitchen. It's kind of terrifying. You come into the kitchen and suddenly this head pops over the... Anyway, he's fine. He's fine. Amanda Panda would also like to know, do you think more designers will have solo variants because of this point in time? Yeah, in fact, I think we're seeing it happen right now in real time. More and more publishers are releasing solo variants for games that they already have released that don't have solo variants. You know, what was it? Who are some of the people I've been seeing? My brain's drawing a blank right now. But you know, I did a video recently for Empires of the North, where I just taught the solo rules. Ignacy Shevchuk from Portal Games, you know, noting that I always say at the end of my videos, there's also some solo rules, but I'll leave those for you to discover on your own. Said, Rodney, enough is enough. We are going to have some solo rules on this channel. I'm going to hire you to do the solo rules for Empires of the North. And so I did. I also thought the timing was good for that as well. Because there are a lot of people, I think, who have games in their collection. They're going, oh, I can't play this. I can't have friends over to play. But there are fantastic solo versions that can be played. So, yeah, I think we're seeing more of that happening now. and I think that's going to continue. I think we've already been seeing it growing in popularity, though, before all of this. There's more and more people who recognize it's hard sometimes to get together with people to play games, but they don't just want to play video games or watch a movie or watch a TV show. They want to play something more tactile, and so board games are their gaming preference, and a solo game lets them have that experience. So, listen, I think this is maybe a good time to wrap up. Jennifer, thank you very much for the super chat and for enjoying this It's Live show. Do I have anything else here that I want to share with you? I think that's everything. I mean, look, we played a game, we wrapped, we spent some time with our pal Chaz, and we answered a whole bunch of questions. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. The next live show will be on May 13th. Mark your calendars, but of course you can always watch these after the fact. But I always love when you jump in here and join me live and help contribute to the conversation, the exchange that we're able to have here as it's happening, and then for people later on. But until the next episode, am I ready to leave? I should be more ready by now. Until the next episode, thanks for watching. Okay, no, it's not. Oh, we were really close there, everybody. We were super so close. So the problem was I have to turn off the stream in YouTube, right? And so I put that awesome little outro there so that no longer do you need to watch me stumbling around as I click and try to turn it off because I have the time to. You don't care. It doesn't matter. The point is, when I went over to YouTube, it wasn't there. It was there. The tab was there. It was open, but it was just a blank screen. So I couldn't end the stream. So now we have to. I have to do that again, unprofessionally. So let's bear with me one more time. Here we go. Will it be one more time? Will this be just the one of many? Until the next It's Live show. Thanks for watching.